I would dare any of you to listen to his answer on childcare and tell me what the hell he was talking about. It was one of the more incoherent things I've ever heard. He thinks tariffs are going to pay for everything. We know that they're a tax on the consumer. But this really highlights a big problem that everyone is saying, well, Trump is so transparent and Trump's out there and that's all that matters. What matters is the content of what he's saying. And none of it is explainable. This issue, which is a big priority for people, obviously a central plank of what's going on in the Harris campaign, he doesn't have an answer besides tariffs. And J.D. Vance yesterday was talking about just have grandma and grandpa do more, that's some sort of solution for people.
I think tariffs are designed to punish countries who subsidize their products.
And
no, for specific countries, they do. Look, I know.
You know what?
I know tariffs.
I've dated tariffs.
All right. Dana.
I'll take that as a victory, by the way.
You can have it. You can have it. I'm not that interested in the topic.
Yeah, I trust him there. I don't think he knows anything about it. I don't think he knows any more than Trump does, which is nothing. And more importantly, he's not interested. He's not interested in the topic of childcare. He's definitely not interested in having a discussion about the fact that Donald Trump talks about things and has no plan. He has no knowledge. His brain is fading fast. He's out there looking like a madman. If Joe Biden had given that answer, they would have rightly talked about it all day long. But now it's Trump. Now he's the old deranged one. I'm not that interested in that topic. Let's just move on.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
But a lot of people are interested in this topic. If we could jump ahead to graphic 3, here's the average weekly cost of childcare across 3 different forms: family care centers, childcare daycare centers, and nannies. And it is expensive. In fact, in all 50 states, childcare can now cost more than housing does. And significant percentages of all parents are struggling with all this. Now, Vance and Trump on some level know that that's true because they've been told, but they're not struggling, and nobody that they're talking to is struggling with those costs. Nobody on the 5 is either. They're all millionaires as well. So none of them know anything about this struggle. They need to pretend that high prices are important because they think that will hurt them against Kamala Harris, but they don't care that Donald Trump isn't saying anything reassuring or even coherent on what he would actually do to get those prices down.
This is a crisis point for the Republican Party because they are no longer the party of freedom or the party of family. And freedom, there was essentially Republicans not being the party of freedom and Democrats being the party of freedom was a central theme of the Democratic National Convention, and I think that landed. But this news cycle we're in reveals that the Republicans are not the party of family. They're the party of make your family do horrible, horrible, thankless work. It basically turn your family members into nannies. But the decoder ring that I'll give the American populace is whenever you see J.D. Vance especially deliver some kind of advice for how to run the country, it's not because he values freedom. It's not because he values family. It's because he values whatever the Heritage Foundation and his billionaire overlord Peter Thiel tells him to value. It's so easy to explain what he's saying when he's like, oh, I just don't want to tax corporations, major corporations, to pay their fair share so we can have some semblance of a safety net in this country, a safety net that is wildly popular. He just wants whatever billionaires want. They're the people who are his meal ticket. And he's willing to take meals off the table of millions of Americans because he knows who brought him to the dance.
One of the frustrating things about this is that it's not his first run. Like when we would analyze his economic proposals or whatever the first time, we'd be like, well, this clearly isn't gonna work for these reasons. The people who actually have made it their life's work are saying that this isn't gonna work, it never does. And we say that. Now, we're like, he already did this and it didn't work. Like, we're not telling you that hypothetically it's not gonna work. It didn't work. And a significant percentage of the country doesn't care that it didn't work. They heard him say, I'm gonna get rid of the deficit and the national debt, and he didn't, and they don't care. In the same way that like his COVID strategy failed, but they don't care. His economic plans failed, but they don't care. And not just him, I mean, George W. Bush as well. Like, they get in, they hand away trillions of dollars to the rich, the economy crashes, no accountability whatsoever. I mean, they might lose the next election. There's some immediate accountability, but their base never takes stock of the fact that their plans don't work and have been given way more tries than they ever should have. And that is very frustrating.